Good morning, Monday morning. It's the start of the week. It's going to be a short week this week because I've got other commitments, but I've just put a block connector on the Hoover. I will put tape over that and sort of hide it away. What that means is when I plug it in, it just stays on all the time, which is better than not working at all before. It was so temperamental. So yeah, that's good. And usually I'm just leaving it on and with the nozzle next to where I'm drilling or whatever, so I can live with that. Right, so good old Henry, continue being of loyal service. Right, I'm going to put some tape around the connectors now. Yeah, it's still early, and I don't know why I didn't think the switch would work. The only thing it's not going to do is reel up the cable. I can live with that. What I'm doing, this is my next job now, I'm going to get the flooring in. So, before I go on about this, I've got the woman who gives me the work, Jackie. She's asked me to go and do a job where I did the shower. Plumber can't get access behind the Corian panels, so she's asked me to cut access panel out for the concealed cistern in the toilet. It just, yeah, I don't know why people don't put provisions in, because ball valves break and leak and all sorts, and there's no way of getting to it. So I'm going to cut a hole out, which is right behind the loo, and it's going to be so visible. It's going to have to be pretty perfect, which is going to be a pain. And Corian, yeah, I'll probably multi-tool it and see if I can cut through it. Right, what I'm doing here is putting the floor down so I can start putting the units in, so I can get the kitchen on its way. But they want a socket here. I'm not sure what height it's going. So I've got a channel up the plasterboard that runs up for the electrician to get his cables up. And then I've drilled a hole in the floor, and on the back of this piece of plasterboard I've got another channel where the cables can go down. So I'm going to put the flooring, I'm going to put a joint in the flooring. This radiator pipe needs to move over because the end of the unit is coming down to here. So that needs to go into this area, but we don't know what size yet because we haven't got the radiator to go in there. So I might cut and cap that. It's all been drained down. And in that way, the plumber can sort it out by lifting that piece of flooring. We've got the end unit comes here, but that'll be easy enough to remove that and get this section of flooring accessible. So these cables will be left under the unit. Oh, in fact, yeah, I need to get I can do a joint there for, no, this is going to have I'm just thinking as I'm talking, this is going to have the tumble dryer in it. So we could put a hole at the bottom and the cables could come out. It doesn't need to get under the floor. Right, but there is a double socket going there for the tumble dryer, unless it goes through into the, it's not for me to worry about, as long as he's got provisions to get to it. Right, now I'm going to put some insulation in because we're seriously lacking in there. And I can't get the noise down between each two. I hate insulating first thing in the morning. I'd rather do it last thing at night, but I need to get on. I haven't heard from her. She's made arrangements for this other job. So, but unless there's anything else I can do. But no, I want to get on with this. I want to get the floor down. I've just cut this 400mm off the end. You can see where the joint is, so I'll just cut with the standing knife and then fold it over the box, and it breaks it up into 400mm sections. I've pumped loads in. There was some in there, but it's they've been moved about and got wet and very thin, so wherever I can I'll do the same here. It's actually got some in already, but yeah, it's not a lot of it, so I'll squeeze it in where I can. It just helps. There's a room downstairs, I think it's their bedroom below this, so anything that can keep the noise down would be better. Now let's get the floor in. Right, I'm back at the job where I did the handrail for the client, and they've asked me to replace the gas bottles. Not sort of thing I'd normally do, so I've just got 2 new bottles refilled, and I'm going to swap them over. The only problem with doing this is I don't mind doing it to help out. The husband's away, the wife's not very well, But I know now that I'm gonna get a phone call every time the gas runs out because I want them replacing again. We're back at the flat now where I did the panelling. It's nice to see it once it's been painted. It looks very nice, that. And there's the shower that fitted. Now the plumber's asked, so he's asked if I can cut an access hole so he can get access to the cistern. But I don't know why the cistern's over there, and the noose here, but probably so they can get access to it because you can't open this one. So there must be, oh yeah, there's a chimney breast here or something, flue. Right, what I've got to do is measure the depth of the cistern, and then he wants something a couple of inches lower than the bottom of the cistern to run right across. So if he needs to change it, he can get to the bottom nut. Yeah, makes sense, I suppose. I think it'd be better if he got it done when he needed to change it, unless he is going to change it, I don't know. Anyway, that's what he's asked, so that's what I'll do. I'll get some tools out, get the hoover out, get the headphones out and start making a noise and dust. Right, what I've done is I've measured the cistern and the bottom comes down to about there. So he's asked if I can go about 4 inches below the bottom so he can get his hand in and get to untwist the connector at the bottom. So if I can cut a big rectangle out. So if I do that much, I presume the pipe goes down, across and into the loop. So I will cut this out, I'll cut across the top of the skirting. I've got to do as neat a job as possible. I've bought, let me see where they are. Yeah, bought a set of these, because I don't know what it's going to take to cut through the corian. I know you can router it, so I'm guessing you can cut through these bits, I hope so. So I'm going to try and make it as neat as possible. I've got to, yeah, be very careful. I want to do it so it's just the cut and put a silicone bead in it afterwards when he's finished. So I'll give it a go. I think I might try with this one and do the bottom piece across the skirting. Well, I'll cut it out, what a job that was. So he's got full access now to all the pipes he needs to get to. There's the inlet in there as well. He's coming that round now, so hopefully he's happy with the hole that I've cut out. I think we'll have to just put a bit of silicone around it when it goes in. You're going to see it, but there's not a lot you can do there. I mean, it's going to look better with a bit of silicone around it rather than having like a beading going over it. That's all down to what the customer wants. Right, I've just got to get all my gear downstairs. It's in the trolley, ready to go in the lift, and we haven't got a key at the moment, so I've got to wait for the painter to get here, and then he can, not the painter, the plumber to get here, so he can bring his stuff up, and then he can take over, and the painters come back later to lock up. We've got a whilst you're there, whilst you're at the job, can you just make that look nice? Because that's where the bidet was. Apparently not allowed bidets anymore, so I've got to make a boxing to go around that, but it's going to have to be an oak because it's going to really look awful otherwise. So I'll take some measurements and see if I can get some oak from somewhere. Back at number 6, and we've got a friend. I don't know why it just doesn't jump out of the hole. So yeah, I don't know. Always end up in the bath. Right, we've got some units in. I'm going to go and pick up the wall units tomorrow, and I can start doing these. Now I know what's going where. So I'll make a list in the morning, go and get the bits, but I'm off now. I've just had to go and have a look at another job, which was a bath that was leaking. And I said, I'm not a plumber. I said, just get a plumber to do it. I don't know why I'm getting all these plumbing jobs. I think it's because I've done them. They know I can do them. It's like gas bottles. Every time their gas runs out now, I'm going to be asked to replace the gas bottles, which is not really what I want to be doing. Yeah, so that's me for the day. It's 4:15, it's late enough. Right, see you tomorrow. Just thought I'd pop into number 6 before I go and have a look how it's going on there. Painting looks nice. and getting coats on the walls. All starting to come together. I think when the woodwork's done, it'll bring it out. Look at this slope up. And this, when you look at the sag, there's a big sag in the top, and this goes down and it's got a hump on it. It's nice to have the big opening, but I think it's not got lintels like we'd use nowadays. Oh, it's all coming along. Right, look up, go home. Good morning all. It's Monday. Last week was a bit of a write-off. We had I had a lot of stuff going on, so I think I did one day. I don't think there's much done that day. So I'll put that on at the beginning from last week. I'm back at the job where I was looking at the fireplace. It was like sanding the floor down. That was very nice. Carpets are up. There's no one here this time. Huge bungalow this is. Right, the fireplace. I don't know where it is this time. I couldn't find it last time. That's where the table was that I took off. Yeah. So what they want now, they wanted originally this taking out, but that's going to be a nightmare. So now they want this removing and just plasterboard over it. We'll have to put a vent in it, just to get rid of it, really. And that's going to stay, because that could be a lot of work trying to get that sorted out. I think that sliding door might be getting changed. I'm not sure. I might let them know I could service it, but it's a bit. No, I'm not going to get involved. I'm not going to suggest that because I've got plenty of other stuff to do. So I started off this morning at the other job where I'm doing the kitchen and the bathroom and all that. So I started there, but then I got a phone call saying this needs doing straight away. So I've come to this job. I'll get this done. I'll probably be here all day getting that out and plasterboard on it. So right, we'll get started. Well, I've pulled the bits that stick out off it. So I've got to get some plasterboard to keep it just a bit back from the face. Oh, it'd be nice to get all that off, but where'd you stop? That's blown, I'll have to take that off. I don't mind doing a little bit of skimming, but that's probably about my limit. It just takes forever, you have to wait for it to go off. Unless I dry line it. Right, I've got to stop thinking while I'm videoing. Right, so I'm going to get some timber, some plasterboard, a vent, and either dry lining filler. Oh, I'm not going to be able to fill that with dry liner. It's going to need one coat. Okay, I'll just go and get some stuff. We end up having to kango the edges because they were all sticking up and we wouldn't have got over them. Yeah, that's all blown, gonna come off. I might as well just take that off. That's what they wanted, all the, I don't know what it is, like slabs. There's the fireplace out and the slabs off. So they're on about re-slabbing the top or tiling it or something, I don't know. Not doing me, so I've got the plasterboard now. I'm just gonna put it in where I can and just give it a once over. But also, we've just had a little site meeting, and in this room there is a beast of a crack that's been filled many times. That's a solid wall, and it's just blown. So I'm going to open it up because I reckon that's going to be a beast. There's going to be a big crack in there. So I might as well do that while I've got the kango out. I've got the, been breaking away a bit of the filling cement on this crack. I think what the problem is, I mean, this is all, they've obviously had a problem, raked it out, re-cemented it, but this is the gap that was. This, it looks like a bit of the block there And it's a totally different block there. So this has got to be like an add-on, an extension, or possibly, I'm not sure, I don't know the history of this house. I think what it needs is a couple of straps putting in, tying it all together. I don't think this is tied into this wall, and if it is, it's not tied in very well. So we might have to expose down to the block and put some steel straps in. That, I'm not sure what that is. I wouldn't have thought it's the mains feed. It's a bungalow, so I don't know what would be up the top. Yeah, I don't know. Well, I've exposed it. It is quite serious, that. I've made quite a bit of a mess. Lucky I had the old bits of carpet I could put down. I'll tidy it up and then report back to the owners and they can make a decision. I've just made a little frame up to go inside the opening, something that the plasterboard can rest on. Yeah, it's not pretty, but it's never going to be seen, so it's doing its job. The darker 50 by 25 is what's left over from the spindles I made for that staircase on the first episode, I think it was. So recycling. I've got some plasterboard, I just need to cut it down. It's going to go up to this edge here because that's not quite ½ inch, it's 12 mil, 12.5 mil that is. So I have to stop it, as long as it's slightly back from there so we can get a skim on it. So I'm going to cut a piece and put it in. I'll probably have to put some universal or something on the side because it'll be a bit thick to put a skim on that. And then, yeah, just patch it in. But I don't want to come back just to do that because that'll take, well, yeah, I'll have to wait for it to go off for ages. I don't want to be waiting around doing nothing. So what I could do, I don't know what they're doing about this. They were talking about putting a worktop on it. So, or slabbing it or whatever. But if I start doing if I come up, put a skim coat on it, and then start doing the cracks, start putting the braces across, tie it in, then I can, yeah, do that while the plaster's going off, the skim coat's going off, and then rub it up so I won't be wasting that time then. Let's get the plasterboard on. I'll just give it a quick clean up. I hope this carpet's getting replaced. All the others seem to be, it must have got to be because it's hanging. Yeah, it's just a little bit sort of carpet, but if I thought it was staying, no, it's got to go. Don't know why it's been left down. Yeah, so that's, I'll put sticks like as well around the edges. So tomorrow that should be nicely set, but I'm not going to be able to get it till Friday is my bits and pieces jobs, but that's already pretty full. I keep getting more jobs coming in. I really just want to stay at number 6 and do the kitchen. I'm leaving that like that. That might just be a conduit for that, possibly. There should be. Anyway, yeah, I can't carry on chipping out because I'll be here for ages and I need to get some straps anyway, so that'll be, I think that's going to be a full day on that. Yeah, so, yeah, I've given it a quick clean up. I think that's me for this job. Well, I think it's me for today, end of Monday. It is now 3:15. By the time I get to back to the other job, get the tools out of the car, it'll just be time to pack up again, so it's hardly worth it. Right, see you tomorrow. Hello, it's now Wednesday. So, yesterday I was getting the units in, and I've just been carrying on today, just putting the edges on. We've got, because the units are white, you used to be able to get replacement end of units that you would change that are this colour, so they'd blend in and not be further. So what I've had to do, these stick on the end. I don't know why they stick out, I don't know. That's how they said to do. And they were extra long, I presume, if you have a palmet underneath, which would make it much easier to put the palmet in, because you wouldn't have to do mitres. Anyway, they're on, the extractor's up. We need the electrician to get a cable up there, so we're going to have to do a bit of chasing, which isn't ideal now, but oh, there was a cable, but it was just run up through the conduit. I think everything was surfaced before. Yeah, and because these bits are on, to get the tops to line up the bottoms, I've had to put spacers in. It's the oven housing. Otherwise the bottom will be shorter and narrower than the top, and when you get it tiled, it doesn't work because the tiles go offset. So that's just waiting for the oven to go in, which won't be going for a while. This side we've got the washing machine gap there. That's a cut down unit for the sink. That's going to be, no, that's going to be the dishwasher, sorry, that's going to be the washing machine. And then there's a tumble dryer there, but we need to get access to the radiator pipe. So I don't want to put anything on the floor because it's going to have to come back up again. So I think I'm just about, I could get the worktops, but I think I need to get them delivered. I'm not in the van at the moment. I'm in the micro and I can't get 4 metre lengths of worktop in the micro. And plus, I'm not carrying them up the stairs on my own either. Those days are gone. So what I need to do, I might actually put a chase in the wall for the electrician, just so he can get his cable up, make life a bit easier. I've still got to insulate up there. I think tomorrow I'm going to head upstairs at number 9, which is, we're at 6, so it's 3 doors down. There's someone behind that one where I fitted the door the other week, and do the floor in the bathroom upstairs. That's the one where I took the shower and sink unit out and loo, and the floor had some woodworm, so I've taken it out. The guys have been in to seal the lath and plaster ceiling. They've poured something from above. So I'm going to go and put the floor back down, and then I can get the shower, sink and loo back in. So I think we'll do that tomorrow. It's now 5 to 4, so I'm just have a bit of a tidy up and then head off. Right, it's now Thursday morning, and I've moved to number 9, number 6 where the kitchen is. So these are bits of floorboards I pulled up, and they've poured, it looks like self-leveler on top of the lath and plaster to hold it all together. I've not seen that done before. I wonder how thick it is. Not very thick by the looks of it. Yeah, very strange. I can understand if you had like a couple of screws or something sticking out the joists for it to tie into. Maybe it has. Maybe it's it does sound quite solid and thick. Right, our job today, I've got to get this floor sorted out. So these, oh yeah, it's woodworm, isn't it? I'll have to pull up an area, get a straight line so I can get some ply in there, ply it out, and I think it needs treating as well with woodworm killer preventer, just to make sure if there is anything in it still, it's all not going to come back. It's not going to get any worse. So I'll cut. I'll measure up and see. I doubt I'll get an 8-foot sheet up here. No, maybe the painters have been doing their stuff, so it's all a bit neat and tidy now. Right, get that chopped up. Good morning, it's Monday morning again. I think there'll be 3 Monday mornings on this video. I've had to go to England, family problems, so I've nipped over there, so I didn't get a lot done last week. We're back where I fitted the plastic door. So the painters have been very good. I was going to replace this skirting, but they've fitted it back on and painted it because I wasn't here and they wanted to get on. That's the door I replaced. This unit, it's the 3rd time that waste has been repaired, and it's still leaking. It's starting to damage your new unit. You can see where the water stains are. It's starting to come apart, which isn't good at all. So it's only been in for a couple of weeks. Yeah, so the painters have just about finished here. It's all looking very nice. It's actually 7:30 this morning. That'll be a good start. I need to put that secondary glazing back on the window opening. The shower and the shower door has arrived. Need to refit the flooring. That's where the pipework came out. That's where the sink was. That's all finished now. I know there's going to be loads of jobs they want, like curtain rails, blinds, there'll be all sorts going on. The other part, secondary glazing. All these steels, they run across the window, just in case you fall. Hit the window, that is a long way down there. So that's a safety thing. That's my sprayer. So in here, I sprayed it all with woodworm killer. So now I'm measuring up so I can get new new plywood. The problem is this wall is a false wall. The joist is quite far back that way. I think I'll have to cut the bottom of the wall out, which has probably got 4x2 on it for the stud work. I need, as I can see it, there. I need to rest the new plywood on the joist. So, might be able to slide it over the top, but it means getting the old flooring out. It's got to be solid here because that's where the shower is. I'll measure up for the ply anyway, get that ordered. It's a bit of a pain working on the top floor, bringing everything up. So I think I'll measure up for here, measure up for next door, number 6. For the ply I need there, get that ordered, and I'll continue. I've got loads to do, number 6. I think what I'm going to do is keep that piece that's resting on the other joist, put a timber underneath to support it, which will also, I'll use the bit that came out, because the timber's actually all right there. I'll put that piece back in, and that's the main place where we want the floor to be solid. This one, I'm going to have to put a 150 by 50 timber and bolt it to the side of that joist, because that's taking all the strength out of that joist. That's really, really bad, what the plumber's done there. So what I'm going to do is bring the pipe up, and I'm going to put the shower tray, I'm going to rest it, I'm going to elevate it 50mm, 75mm, so I can get it nice and level on the sub base that I'm going to put in, because I'm sure this will be out level. And then I can just bring the pipe underneath and run the pipe to I can just pop the pipe up here, say, so it's under the shower tray, get it to the waist, we can get access to it from the front. I'll just put a piece of plastic on the front that can come off, and if ever we need to get to the waist, we can get to it rather than it sitting on the floor and not knowing if there's problems or being able to test it or anything. This pipe has got so much sag in it, there's nothing supporting it, so it's sort of running uphill because it was never supported when it was fitted. So we need to jack it up and put some bearers across to support it, and probably clean it out as well. So I've ordered some 150 by 50. I'm going to put ply in this area here. I'll cut this back to the joist, put new ply there, and then make sure we've got good bits of boarding just to patch up that bit, and I'll probably have to put a bit of ply in there. Now we're in number 6, and this is the one I've levelled the bath up, but it needs, I need to put a support along the wall. So I'm going to measure up for the, as I'm getting the plywood, I'll put the measure up for the ply that's going along the floor. Finish this off. We need to find out what size towel rail we're having. It's going to be one of the electric, it's going to be electric and have plumbing going to it. So I need to get the electrician to sort that out. I can start, once that has a bearer on the wall to support the bath. Oh, look at how square that is. Then I can put the boarding on the wall, the shower board. They don't want that sink, they want a smaller, a bigger sink, which is a bit of a pain because I don't know if I'll be able to take that back now. Right, that's that for that bathroom. The kitchen just needs worktops. Oh, I've got 3 wall units to go up there. So I need them to choose which worktops they want. I just fitted the supports in here. I've screwed it down, and that way, because this whole top is going to be able to be lifted off. So I've measured up for the MDF I need to make the doors. I'm going to put like an infill panel here. And yeah, so I can get on with that. Then that will be this room finished for me. Oh, skirting. Let's put a bit of skirting on. I'll order some skirting as well. I've just put some lagging on the 1/2-inch return. So that's the pipe that's going all the way to the top room where the new bathroom's going. So I've lagged it all the way up. It's all loose, nothing's fixed yet. I've just got a pre-formed bend there. Obviously there's still work to do on that. And I need to get some 2 lengths of 3/4-inch pipe from here all the way up to the attic as a feed to the bathroom. So it comes from the kitchen to here, then it goes off into the ground floor bathroom, but it needs to tee off and go up there. So I need another 2 lengths. The trouble with the coil of pipe, like that one, that's what's left of the 3/4. It is a pain being with the bend in it. But the other lengths are straight, but they're only, I think they're 3 meters long. So you have to put joints in them, whereas that can go all the way up without any joints in it. And I like to leave the joints for the plumber. Obviously I don't want to put pipes up there, not joined together, because I can't fix anything then. So, right, okay, I'll probably order another roll of 3/4-inch pipe. And I'm running out of things to do here. Well, I'll get this floor down because we don't need to get in there anymore now all the pipes are in. I'll make sure I'm very careful though when I'm fitting it so I don't hit any pipes. Now the pipes that run down here, I need to lift this up. There's the return, that's the return that comes from the attic. And there's a pipe down there which I've capped because I didn't know what it was for, but I think that's for the tap outside. It no longer works anymore. Right, I've been asked to go back to the job where I did the shower door and the panelling. So it's all looking nice now. Plumber's put the radiator back on. So yeah, all good. I could have had a little bit more of a sand down. I left it for the painter. But yeah. Right, and in here, this is the access panel I cut out for the plumber to get to the cistern is there because all the soil pipes run down this side. So it comes from the bottom of the cistern and goes to the loo, but it wasn't flushing very well, so you must have put a new one of those in. These, I'm not going to try them because they're about to fall off, and it's all been cleaned, it's all sparklingly clean. I think that's been silicone on, so it was wobbling about and you couldn't get access to it. So I've been asked, they've told me not to put a boxing round mat for some reason. So I'm not going to do that. I have been asked to print my diary. Work in this room. Now I've no idea why there's a big gap behind that unit and why the plinth is so narrow on that side. So they've asked me to put a bit of plinth in here. That just looks awful. It looks like it's had a bit. There's some in the kitchen. Let me go and have a look and see if that will fit. Apparently I've got something to do in there as well. Kickboard. I reckon that's in here. Let me put that on if it fits. It probably doesn't if it's been left off. It looks like they've had self-leveler on the floor when they put this flooring down. Right, let's try it on. Yeah, a bit of a mess, that is. That's as it was, and that's not good either, but right, well, that's that done. So there's nothing left over. It could be the plinth for inside this room. So what I need to do is, that looks cream, but it's white doors, and it's cream unit. Right, so I need to get another length. I'll measure up now so I can cut it down to length. Why on earth they didn't put that against the wall? It just looks awful. Looks like they've stuck a bit on the edge. It's a shame they didn't make it a bit longer. Unless this has come from somewhere else and gone in there. Well, I better change that bit as well. Right, I've measured both of those. I'll replace them both. I could take that one off and put it there, but I'll cut two new ones. I can fiddle about with that afterwards and see if it goes on there, but I might as well make them in the workshop with use a chop saw to get the mitre on it, cut the heights down, and yeah, wedge them in. Right, so that's this job done for now. They're still looking for a tenant for it. I think they had one, but so things have changed. So back, I'm going to pick up materials now. So I'll head back to the job. Right, I've been to the merchants and collected some. I've got two top units to go here. But what the problem we've got is there's nothing solid. The wall from there down is brick. So we can get some good fixings at the bottom, but further up there's nothing. You get a bit of the old window frame every now and then, but it's a bit hit and miss. So this is 27mm thermal board, and you can see there's quite a gap between here and the wall. It's had to be packed out, so getting fixings in there is a bit of a nightmare. So what I've done is I've got driver fixings, which are these, which are good, but they're not going to support the weight of the unit, especially if someone decides they want to put plates and a lot of plates in there. So I've put some timber on the wall, which will rest just under the lip. So the top of the unit is going to sit on that timber, and it will be pulled in by these clamps. So that those clamps will be pulling it in. This will be supporting the weight. So I've glued it. I've got quick grip on it. So that'll be enough to support the weight of the unit, and the chances are it's probably going to get tiled underneath, which will support the weight at the bottom. Otherwise, so what I have done before is once the unit's on, put a piece of timber across the top of it and fixed down and glued to the wall, and that stops it, that supports it as well. So right, I'm going to get hopefully the measurements are right. I'm going to stick the unit on and see how that works out. Right, we've got the 3 units up. Well, 2 units and 3 doors. So I'm not really sure about these bits, if they're supposed to stick over. But I thought, better to let them stick over and I can always cut them down than to cut them down and wish I'd left them. So yeah, I'll have to have a look and see what their display ones have. They do look a little bit weird. Yeah, just the worktops down here. I've got the white plinth for the flat that I went to this morning, so I can cut that, put a mitre on it. I've got to fit that. It seems a shame to drive, it's like halfway across the island to go and do that. So I've got, hopefully the delivery will arrive tomorrow for the timber that I've ordered, so I can start doing the bathroom floor in number 9 further down, so I can get the shower in, and the painter's finished painting the building, but there's he's just got the shower room left to do, the bathroom. Obviously he couldn't do it while I was still making a mess in there, so he's obviously keen for me to get it done, and then that's that one finished. I can get that one rented out. This one, we're moving along, it's getting there. There's still a few more bits and pieces to do, but once I've finished number 9, I can start. I want to get the kitchen finished off in here, so I need to get a decision on the worktops. I want to get the bathroom all fitted, which is not far off downstairs. The pipe work up to the attic, and then I think we're not far off it then. Then I'm going to get the building inspector in, check the waste pipe, and then yeah, to get the plumber in, get him to plumb everything up. But there's still floors upstairs. I think tomorrow I'm going to put the floors down upstairs, just tidy up the mess. So I've got bits and pieces everywhere. So I've got to insulate, but I've got a bit of a cough at the moment. I don't really want to do that. So I'm feeling a bit better. And that's a last thing at night job. I've got 2 end panels left. I need one to go here. We need to find a radiator. The timber for the doors is coming tomorrow, so I'll be able to put the doors on. So I need to get some hinges and bits and pieces. So we're not far off. I quite like it. It's starting to all take shape. They've definitely got plenty of units for storage. Let's maximise the space that's in here. Yeah, once the worktop's on, which shouldn't be much work because there's no corners, it's just 2 straight runs. Hopefully I can get some 4 metre worktop, and then that'll be long enough for that bit. Otherwise I'm going to put a straight joint in it. And this one's like 2.5 metres, so that will be alright if it's 3 metres. Right, I think I'm going to call it a day. It is now 4:25, so I'm going to go to the store. I've got to lock up in there. I'm going to make sure number 9's shut and all the lights are off because we've had people working in there. What I tend to do here is just hit the power switch on the main fuse because there's lights on everywhere. And it takes ages to go around and turn them all off. And it's safer as well. Right, see you tomorrow. Good morning, it's now Tuesday morning. And I've got, this is just kitchen plinth that I'm going to cut down for the flats that I was at yesterday. So I need to cut one 95 and one 100mm. And then I'll take it to the workshop and put a 45-degree mitre on one end on each piece. Then I can nip up and fit that, and then that's that job out of the way. Bit of a pain because it's the other side of the island. But I'm running out of stuff to do here until the delivery turns up from the merchants. So hopefully that'll arrive this morning. Right, that's that all cut down. I'm just going to tighten the mitre up a little bit, but I'll do that once we're there. Yeah, a few bits to take with me. We'll go and get those on, and then that's it done. That job finished. Right, that's the 2 bits of plinth fitted to the units. I haven't glued them or anything. They just wedged in quite nicely with the thickness of the carpet. So you don't, it takes your eye off it now. So they were asking me whilst you're here if I could go and give the plinths a quick clean in here. The ones I fitted yesterday, because I said they were a little bit dirty. So I'll use these ultra grimes. Let's see if we can get the dirt off it. There's like a chip in it there. I've given it a once over, but this, I don't know what that is. But you know, I don't mind doing a bit, but I'm not cleaning all the kitchen. That's well, I could do, but then they'll just moan when they get a bill. So yeah, whilst I'm here, I spent a few minutes doing that, and it's tied up a bit. I'll leave the rest. Otherwise, where do you stop? You end up spending all day here. Good morning, it's now Wednesday morning. So we've got the plies arrived. I've got some materials. So I'm going to get the plywood down on the floor, patch up the areas where we're missing. I've got to jack up that. I might have to pack up on top of this, get some support on it. I'll put some timber underneath. I've got to sort this out. I'm going to cut the pipe. I might replace the whole 2-inch pipe because they were having blockages, and I think because it had such a sag in it, I think it's probably going to be pretty blocked. I might cut it here and have a look down it and see what's what, and then renew that. Get some supports in so it's got a good fall on it. Yeah, just get this in, and then I can look at putting the shower tray in and the wall panelling. Alright, well, I'm cutting the waste pipe out. Yeah, the reason we've got all this on the floor is because of the water damage to the ceiling below. So as I'm cutting it, I noticed it's twisting. I've just looked. That's not even glued. It's a glue fit joint that's not glued. How on earth that didn't pour out of the water? I am quite amazed. So I don't know where. I'm gonna have to check wherever it goes to out there now. If there's an unglued joint there, that's bad. I've got some 6x2, which I'm going to bolt to the side of this joist to strengthen it where the notch is. If you can imagine, the weight of the floor is pushing down, so a big notch like that, it's just taking all the strength out of that timber. So if I bolt this to the side, it will give it more strength and hopefully stop the floor from moving. And that way it'll give the shower a good chance of sealing. Any movement on the floor, and once you've got the shower in, you put a bit of weight on it, standing in it, then the shower moves and needs to move a millimetre, and then you end up with a gap where the water will go through the edge and cause all sorts of problems. So yeah, that's I've got a notch out around the cables, this and bolt it in, so give it some strength back. Not sure what these were doing. I think I might take them out and see if I can get my plywood to run through and sit on the joist at the back. So that's 50 by 150, that timber, and I've bolted it through to the existing, what's left of the existing joist. So that's going to give it strength now and strengthen up make up for the cutout on the other joist. I've had to notch it where the cables run through. So right, I'm going to get the plywood up in now so I can find out exactly where I need to cut these boards, get the plywood down, and then yeah, start getting it back together again. We just had the potential tenants moving in, having a look around. Told them how to use their imagination in the bathroom. What we've got here, I've taken the chrome bezel off. It's just siliconed on, so you just cut it with a knife. If I'm putting shower ball on here, we've got 10mm. It's going to stick out from the wall 10mm further, probably 12mm. So we're quite close to the edge of the lip where the chrome bit will go back onto. So really, I need to get this forward, even if I get it 5mm. So I've undone the screws that hold it to the wall. I can even cut a bit more of the tiles off and just see if there's anything else holding it there, so I can pull it forward a bit. I can't put any effort into it because I don't want to strain any pipes. I can sort of feel where the pipes are and where they're going and what they're doing. So I think I've got a bit of give, but the pipe is actually hitting this here. So if I take a bit of this out, and the same on this side, it's hitting a bit there. So I'll knock a couple of these bits out and see if we've got, I'm not going to put any force into it. I'll see if we can just gently move it forward. 10 mil would be excellent. The people looking at renting have moved over to number 9, which is where all my tools are. No, number 6. This is number 9 here. So I need a few more tools to expose that. So yeah, rather than go there while they're all getting shown around, I'm just going to use my multi-tool and cut all the tongues off these so the plywood fit in between the two, and then I'll work out where I'm going to cut it in the middle of the joist across here so the ply's got something nice and firm to sit on. Right, I've opened this up a bit because these were touching the back of the tiles, so now we've got some give in it, so we can move it all forward a bit. If I put something behind it and refix it to the board but further forward, then I think we'll have enough room to get the plate on whilst still showing some. So yeah, the worst thing is if we put the plate on and it's not behind this point, so we should be okay now, as the plate is at the moment, it's just on. We've got a couple of mil to spare. So yeah, if we can come forward, the thickness of the wallboard, we should be all right. Right, I've just cut some UPVC. It's about 5 mil thick. So I've doubled it up. I've put it behind the shower mixer and the outlet. So that's pushed everything forward 10 mil. There's plenty of give on the pipes. I didn't force anything, I just sort of moved it forward. So at least that way we've got enough cover for the shower board to go on. And I've also, I've used it all now, I've put 5 mil packers on all the joists because the ply is 18 mil and it must be 22 mil, something like that, for the old floorboards. So there was a lip all round. I've just put some screws in this so I know where the joists are, because I pencil mark them. But pencil marks will go, so at least the screw holes, I'll know where they are. And I am going to have to take it up again when I find out where the pipe needs to come up for the shower. So at the moment, I'm gonna put a cord in there, temporary. I've just put one here, but where it's been cut, I've got to cut some 50 by 50 tannalised and span the joint, so I'll fix it either side, just so I can carry weight. Not that there'll be any weight on it, but it's just a way of doing it. Right, this is the shower tray where it's going, and across this way it's lovely and level. Unfortunately, we are talking to get this side level. It's about 25 mil. So I'm going to have packers 25 mil higher this side than I am that side. And I want to, what would be good is if I could get the 40 mil waste pipe up through the floor, if I could bring it along in between these joists and bring it up and then do a 90, so it goes into the waste. I'll bring the pipe up, the plumber can do the rest. So I need probably 50 mil that side and 75 mil this side. I don't go too high because we're not we have got plenty of room, but we don't have too much of a step. It's quite a thin shower tray there, which is good. So then I can get the waste pipe into that area, and fit it onto the frame. I'll have to pull it away from the wall a little bit. I want the edge of the shower tray to be sort of flush with this wall, so as it goes down, and the same on that side. And then the 10mm shower board can sit on the shower tray, so I can get a good seal on it then. That's the tray in position. What I've got is 50 by 50 there. I've got 50 by 50 with 18mm and 5mm. So 18mm and 5mm, 23mm. So with 23mm packed up this end to make the tray level. That is level now. So what I need to do is I've measured from where the base of the tray is to the bottom of the pipe, and that is 75mm, and I've got 60mm there, so I need to go up another 18mm, which will give it a bit of play, but that's good because I need to put a ply base underneath it. So that's 1200 by 800, so I need to get sheets of ply, cut down 1200 by 800, use this height, make up a framework. I'll have to cut a hole in the floorboards underneath so that the bottom of the waste can fit through. And I've got a couple of mil spare, so I can run the pipe. All it needs to do is come across and then down this side of the joist that runs through. So it's not far. I've just got to bring it out a bit and then down. In fact, I might be able to leave it this height and cut a big bit of flooring out. I think I'll cut the flooring out and then see, but it's getting late, it's getting dark, it's pouring down the rain. I'm not feeling too good, I've got a bit of the lurgy. So I might, every time I do something, I've got to go down the stairs, 4 flights, to walk down to number 6, go up 1 flight, get the bits and then come up here. I've just carried this up the stairs, I've got the door and everything. The shower panels are going to be quite heavy as well. Right, okay, I'm going to, I've got some 6x2 that's left over from the flooring, because I can only do it in 3 metre lengths. So I can use that, cut it down. And what I want to do is 1, 2, 1 at the end, 1 here. So if I've got 4 bearers going across, the plywood on top. I might go and get the plywood actually. So I've got a good, I'm set up for tomorrow then. Right, it is Thursday morning. I've just picked up 2 pieces of plywood to go under the shower tray. So this is actually another shower that's going upstairs. This is in number 6. So what I'm going to use, I've got some 50 by 100 and 50 by 150. So that's pretty wet, that is. I'm going to cut that down to the right width for the shower tray because it's going to get progressively lower. Yeah, get that over there, get the plywood upstairs, ready to go. I've got a few things to do today, which is going to slow me down a bit on the work front. I've got tyres to get changed on the van, needs doing. The van, I've had new, there it is, there's the plywood. And I don't know if you can see, but that wheel, someone reversed into it and took put a big dent in it. So it ripped the tyre, well, I let all the air out. So I need to get that sorted out, and I've got a few things to drop off, and I'll come back and carry on with the shower tray. Yeah, that's the wheel. The tow bar caught the front wheel. I hope the tyres are right, because they weren't old then. So I've got hold of another wheel, got to get that tyre put onto that wheel, and 2 new tyres on the back. Right, I'm in the store at the moment. I've just dropped the van off to get the tyre sorted out. I thought I'd better put the bike inside. Yeah, back to the shower. Right, that's 150 by 50. The idea being, I find out how much I need under the waste. I'm going to cut a hole out now in the floorboards for the bottom to stick down. The idea being, I can jack it up just enough so the pipe can run on the floor, and then we can get an opening for the plumber to sort it all out. The idea is I can get all this fitted without touching the waste. The plumber can do all that. I've also got the plywood to go under the tray. So once I've built a frame, I can put the plywood on and that'll sit on top of the plywood. I mean, it says you should bed them on cement, but I've never, a long time ago people used to do that. As long as the tray is level, and I put that on silicone, so if there is any imperfections, it sort of fills it out, stops it from moving. Stopping it from moving is the important thing that needs to be done. Right, what I've done is I've cut down some 150 by 50. I cut that down, I think it's 95 those two, and 70mm there at the top. I've cut out a hole for the waste for the shower tray, so I'll put this ply on, scripts to the bearers. The bearers have just got some adhesive underneath just to fill out anything that's any lows. I've had to plane them to get them as tight as I can, stop any movement. So now I'm going to put the ply on top of that, put a few screws in it, and then we'll put the tray on and see if we can work out how to do the waste. Right, that's the tray onto the base, and I've just put the waste in. It's all dry, it's nothing's fixed. So we've got a gap below it. Idea being is I'll run a pipe, or the plumber will run a pipe, and I'll put a hole in the floor here, so the pipe can go down and then connect to this one. And that way it's not going to come through the joist, and we can get to everything from the outside. So I'll just have a plastic plinth on here, which we can pull off if need be and get underneath it and sort that out if there's any problems. I've had to cut a little bit more out of the board because when you lift it up to where it'll be, this was hitting the underside of the plywood. So we've got a bit of a gap now, so I'll be able to get to it and turn it and twist it and all that. I've marked the bottom where I'm going to cut out for the access to get to the waste there, so I'm going to cut that out now. I've cut an excess hole here, so the waste can go from the waist down a 90-degree bend, and then a 90-degree bend, take it into that one, and we'll have a T, whatever the plumber can sort it out. Right, that's in, nice tight against the wall. It's all sitting flush, resting on the board nicely. I'll put the level on it. It's got a very slight rock going that way. That's nothing to do with the base, that's just the way that the shower trays are formed. What I can do now is peel the blue protective covering off from the insides, glue underneath, and drop it down and leave that overnight, and then I can start putting the shower boards on. So the whole wall's getting shower boarded, and then this wall, and I've got a sink unit to go there. So there's not a great deal left to do in here. The decorators have been in, they've put a coat of paint on that I'll have to touch up afterwards, but they know that. So shower board, once I get it sorted, the trouble is I'm going to get it from number 6. So I'm going to take it down the stairs, bring it across, bring it up the stairs. I'll probably cut it next door, measure it here, cut it next door. Yeah, well, it's all just doable. Right, let's get this glued down.